Achieving financial success takes dedication, discipline, and most importantly, a plan. For over 30 years, Don Reynolds has helped savers define their needs, formulate their plans, and achieve their goals. From accumulation to preservation and protection, and through the income distribution phase in retirement, implementing the right strategies makes all the difference. Your retirement is our business. Welcome to Strategic Asset Preservation.
Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reynolds Wrap. Of course, I'm Don Reynolds. And
Corey still here, Don, as always. Good afternoon, folks.
Yeah, it's great to see everybody. So hope everybody's doing well. So, our last episode, we talked about life insurance, and I know Corey mentioned at the end, our next one, we're going to talk about, what we call hybrid life insurance. This is about the elephant in the room that no one ever wants to talk about, and that's long-term care. Obviously, nobody ever wants to go to a nursing home or assisted living. We've all heard the horror stories of these places, and I understand that, but reality's reality. We're all living longer, which creates the need for this to be even greater. I personally, a couple of years ago, took out my own long-term care policy. I practice what I preach, so to speak. And so, and I could maybe self-insure that with my income and everything, but, I look at, I still want to protect my assets. For me, legacy is important. I've got 3 granddaughters I love very much, and one of them's probably going to be special needs to some degree. And so I want to make sure that I'm planning for that. And if I end up in a nursing home, my plans will go away if I don't have something to plan for that. So, there's several different ways to do this. You can do a straight out long-term care policy. You could do a life insurance long-term care. We call that hybrid life insurance. Because one of the biggest fears people have is if they don't ever use it, they lose it. Well, back to a traditional long-term care, they actually have programs now that have return of premium riders. I actually did that myself. So if I never use it, I don't lose it. 100% of the premiums I pay in will come back to my estate. And I hope that's what happens, because I don't really want to use it. But nonetheless, it's about the peace of mind. And that's what we're all looking for in retirement.
Yeah. I mean, insurance, I guess, is an important part of everyone's life. I mean, from car insurance to homeowners insurance to health insurance. When you look at insurance, it's leveraging some dollars for the potential of a large-scale claim or future expense that you may not be prepared for. Or if you are prepared for it, as Don mentioned, maybe you could self-insure, you believe. You want to protect your assets and use those assets for a way that you want to within your family and or estate planning. So, no different than an analogy would be a house insurance plan or homeowners insurance. If I've got a $500,000 house, $500,000, and I can pay for pennies on the dollar insurance, every single year to cover that, I'd rather do that rather than take $500,000 of my own money and put it into a safe bank investment where I can't lose it, but maybe the growth isn't very substantial, to self-insure that $500,000 house, because I would rather take that money and allow it to grow and continue to, use it in ways that I want to for my family, or keep it invested the way I want to try to seek greater returns than what I might get at a bank. So an insurance product is really about taking pennies on the dollar and leveraging towards a future event that's going to cost potentially a lot of money, and then having that insurance company step in and pay for that event. So when you look at long-term care insurance, it's one of the greatest risks all of us face in life. It really is. When you look at some of the statistics as far as how many of us will really need long-term care stay in our future, it's upwards of 70% or higher. So when you're looking at things like that, it just makes sense to make sure you have a discussion, you look at it, and you look at a long-term care plan, whether it be a traditional plan or whether it be a hybrid plan now available through some life insurance planning, and make sure that you've got your ducks in a row and you've got your estate plan and your needs covered, because again, it's going to be something in the future that most of us are going to face.
Yeah, because and it doesn't mean you'll be in a nursing home. It could be assisted living.
Absolutely.
It could be home care. The key is we're all living longer, and at some point we're going to need care. It's just the reality of it. And so it's a matter of how are you going to do that? No, there's one other way you could do this. There's certain annuity contracts that have long-term care riders, if you will. They don't cost money, and they're set up where basically it's activities of daily living. You're bailing, dressing, eating, continence, things of that, medications. And so what it does is if it's got an income benefit, it'll actually pay, in certain contracts, they'll double that income benefit during that time you're in a nursing home.
Yep.
And then if you pass, the income doesn't stop. It would continue to go to your loved one. Now, depending on assets and all that stuff, the state may get involved. You may have to pay some of that income back to the state if they cover you for a period of time. So there's some variables in there. But, I think the key is we all want peace of mind in retirement. Yep. And so all we're imploring folks is to do some research. We're here. I've been marketing long-term care for over 30 years.
Yeah.
I've had many people use it, and I'm glad they had it. And I've also had the other side of that coin where they didn't see value, felt they would be fine. Well, it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. And, it creates a real hardship for loved ones, especially a spouse. If you're married and one of you is enter a nursing home, it can devastate the lifestyle of the other spouse, because they're costing, a regular nursing home, memory care, things like that. They're $100,000 plus a year today.
Yeah.
So you really do got to look at planning for this. And that's all we're asking, is to do some kind of planning. Okay.
And it helps alleviate the stress on the family, whether it be your spouse or children or in-laws, as to care for you. So again, it's another way to just ensure that, if and when perhaps that day comes where you need some sort of care or level of care, you've got quality professional care that you can hire and afford or use insurance for, rather than put stress on a family member to help care for you. Because again, it's a situation that is so entangled. There's so many different levels and matrix lines coming into play at that point, that you don't want to have to worry about it when it's too late. So as Don mentioned, it's something you want to make sure that you entwine, you talk about, you've got a plan for in your financial plan, and you've got it covered and figured out. And again, that's the key here, I think, folks, is that with the evolution of all the different ways to help cover this, there are many ways that we can now look at for this if you want to look at insurance, and you can see, again, what route is best for you.
Yeah. The biggest thing about long-term care, and whether it's a hybrid life policy or regular long-term care, and I'll tell you right now, getting an actual true long-term care policy is harder to qualify for than an actual life insurance hybrid policy.
Yeah.
We know that because we do both of them. And so all we're saying is, ask the questions. We're here to answer them for us. Give us a call at 651-773-3859. Again, that's 651-773-3859. We're happy to share our thoughts and ideas, and we can lay out some different plans, give you some things to think about, because it's important, folks. That's all we can say.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And again, give us that call. We'd be honored to look at it in your situation and go through a more in-depth look at the different options for you. And again, costs and benefits and what it can mean in your family and your situation. So give us that call at 651-773-3859. We'd be honored to sit down with you.
Thanks so much, folks. We'll see y'all next time.
Have a great day, folks. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Listen to more with Don Reynolds and Corey Still on the Strategic Asset Preservation Podcast by visiting 800preserve.com.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.